Hello and happy Friday to all of you out there, wherever you are and whenever you may be listening. Tonight's WKMC TV broadcast is coming to you live. It is a non-conference co-region matchup between the visiting Mount Carmel area Red Tornadoes and the hosting North Schuylkill Spartans. My name's Jimmy Lesko. I've got Dan Lesko beside me. Jose Gonzalez supports us from the sideline, as he always does. And together we are coming to you, as I said, live, courtesy of WKMC TV this week from Gauche Orthodontics Field at Spartan Stadium in Ashland, Pennsylvania. And we're super excited to be here again. You can catch us live at redtornadofootball.com. Go out to redtornadofootball.com, find the link, enjoy the game in all its glory, thanks to MCA Live, WKMC TV. So Dan, tonight the Red Tornadoes are coming in to this matchup as somewhat of an interesting 3-1 team.
Yeah.
They're seemingly dominant in three of their 4 games. Their 3 wins. The Spartans, they have been dominant in 3 of their 4 wins.
Yes.
In 3 of their 4 contests, again, as they're also 3-1. The Spartans have also dominated the Red Tornadoes as of late. The Red Tornadoes haven't notched a victory against the Spartans since 2013, Dan. That's 5 straight matchups.
Wow.
Last year, it was quarterback Jaden Leiby leading the charge in a 33-21 win. So he's back again this year, along with some friends. He's got the Chawanski brothers in the backfield. He's got Jake Green. He's got White. He's got a lot of big, strong guys.
Yeah.
So, Dan, what should the Red Tornado faithful expect tonight?
Jim, they should be expecting a physical game, as these co-region rivalries always are. And they should expect a heavy dose of Leiby on the offensive side of the ball from the Spartans. They run multiple formations, but predominantly out of the pistol set, which gives Leiby a little extra room to make his reads in this sort of zone read scheme offense.
So what about defensively? What will the Spartans throw at Mount Carmel?
Well, the Spartans, they run a 4-4 defense, which is going to look a lot like a 6-2 when Mount Carmel is tight in their shotgun wing. So the Big Red will have to soften that tough defensive front by making some plays in the passing game.
So we'll take the coin toss here for a second. The Red Tornadoes are going to send out, as they always do. It'll be Wills, Troutman, Erb, and Chapman. And on the other side, that's 4 seniors as well for the Spartans. It'll be Jake Green, Jesse White, Zach Chawanski, and Tyler Elsden. So, Dan, we said the Red Tornadoes need to open up the passing game a little bit. What else do they need to do to have some kind of success tonight?
So, Jim, that'll lead me right into tonight's keys to the game. So, for the Red Tornadoes, read your keys. Notice the spelling there. Read your keys. You're going to have to hit them over the top, and the best offense is a good defense. You got to remember that. So going back to that, read your keys. Reed Witkoski, that middle linebacker, is going to have to really do a good job of keeping Leiby at bay. He's not going to be last year, the North Schuylkill spread Mount Carmel out, and Leiby hit him hard up the middle. And Witkoski's that middle linebacker. He's going to have to stop that.
Yep, Dan, who we had on the field so far, I'll cut you off for just 1 second. The Spartans won the toss and deferred. The Red Tornadoes will be receiving in the south end zone, and we're going to pause here for the national anthem. All right, and we're back here at Gauche Orthodontics Field at Spartan Stadium. And again, the Red Tornadoes traveled down 901 a little bit here to take on the Spartans. And Dan, you were just talking about your keys to the game.
Yeah, so as I said, Jim, the Red Tornadoes need to really, they read Witkowski needs to be tough at that middle linebacker spot and shut down their run game up the middle. That's defensively. Offensively, Red Tornadoes, as I said, they got to really soften that tough defensive front up by hitting them over the top with a couple deep balls. So look for Reisinger to go to Chapman and Burkowski on a couple deep balls, try and open things up a little bit. And the best offense is a good defense, Jim, as I said earlier. This North Schuylkill offense is tough. They run the ball very well, and they score a lot of points. So the thing that our defense needs to do is help that offense out by getting stops.
Number 32, Big Jake Green, he'll be doing the kicking for the Spartans. And this is going to be a short kick, really short. It'll be taken by Troutman at the 30-yard line. Nice tackle there, made by number 35. We don't have a 35. Okay, so good. Nice tackle there made by that young man. But the Red Tornadoes are going to start their first drive of the night, 1st and 10, just inside the 30.
And Jim, real quick here, I'll hit North Schuylkill's keys to the game. Offensively, which we're not going to see right away because they're taking the defensive side of the ball, but they're going to have to let Libby loose offensively. He's their leading rusher, leading passer, obviously, at the quarterback spot, so he needs to tear it up.
Reisinger brings Burkowski in motion, but it's going to be a handoff to Widener up the middle. He runs through an arm tackle, as he often does. If it doesn't get much further than that, give him a gain of 1, bring up 2nd and 9.
Yeah, they're also going to have to not get beat deep and zone read. Their whole offense is based off of zone reads and zone blocking schemes offensively for North Schuylkill, but they're going to have to stay tough right now and stop the run game, force Mount Carmel to throw.
Mount Carmel in their shotgun double wing. Reisinger takes it. It's Widener again off the right side. He picks his way, does a nice job getting up over the 35. We'll stop him at the 36. That's going to bring up the first 3rd down of the night for the Red Tornadoes, about a 3rd and 4.
And Jim, we haven't talked about it much this year because we haven't seen a whole lot of the shotgun wing from the Red Tornadoes up to this point. But 3rd and 4, staying on schedule.
There we go.
Got to stay on schedule with this shotgun wing offense, this run-predominant offense that they run right now.
We talked about it before, Dan, how close, how tightly packed the line of scrimmage there is, and it's going to be Widener again off the right side. And he does a nice job fighting. He's very close to a first down.
And he gets the first down and then a late flag.
Yeah, that flag came in from the back judge, as it should have. Again, that's going to be a pretty big late hit out of bounds penalty there against the Spartans.
Yeah, and Widener does a great job toughing that run out and working his way to get, it doesn't look like they're going to give it to him, but to push it forward. And I guess they're not calling the late hit out of bounds. They're calling it an incidental face mask, which either way is going to give them the first down.
1st and 10, Mount Carmel now at the 45. 10:47 left in the opening quarter. Shotgun double wing, Reisinger. He has Widener to his left. He brings Burkowski across. He's going to fake it to Burkowski, rolls out. He's got Chapman wide open, and he hits him in stride. Chapman's down the sideline, and he tiptoes all the way down inside the 10. Nope, they'll catch him right at the 16-yard line. They're going to mark him out, but either way, that's a gain of 39 on a beautifully designed pitch and catch from Reisinger to Chapman.
And Jim, the Red Tornadoes doing exactly what they needed to do. With those that Spartan defense, 6 men on that defensive line of scrimmage. A little play action, Chapman, no one near him. Reisinger finds him, huge gain. And this is what the Red Tornadoes need to do. They got to get out on top.
Reisinger in the gun again. This is going to be Widener again, straight up the middle. He's got nowhere to go. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard if he's lucky. We'll see on the spot. He's actually going to get 2, so good effort there by Widener, 2nd and 8.
Jim, another thing I wanted to touch on real quick. The Red Tornadoes cannot squander this opportunity. This Spartan defense is very tough. They don't give up a whole lot of yards. They don't give up a whole lot of points. So when you have the opportunities you get in the red zone, you need to convert.
So again, in that shotgun double wing format, it's Wills and Chapman are the tight ends. Burkowski and Daukus are in that H-back slot to the right. Reisinger, he's going to pitch it inside to Burkowski, and really the alley was there, but number 33, that's Jesse White, 6'3", 235-pound senior, just kind of got up off the ground and tripped him up.
Yeah, that's a big guy down there in that in that defensive front, and you know, as you said, he kind of fell over, but getting up was able to take Burkowski down. So that play's well designed and it's well set up with the outside runs, but that time they were able to kind of stomp it out.
And you said, Dan, can't squander the opportunity. So here it is, 3rd and 9 from the 15. It's the same look. And it's going to hand off to Widener. He's down the right side. There was a little extra beef over there with Chapman, but nowhere to go. He'll get to, we'll give him the 13. It's going to bring up 4th and about 7.
Yeah, and again, 4th down.
So we'll see.
It looks like we're going to kick it.
I was going to say, we're kind of in stellar range here now.
Absolutely, and we need, and that's the thing. You have to get points out of this, so you don't want to go turn it over on downs. So give Stellar a chance. Let him kick it. See what he can do.
Well, after what we saw last week, too, we know he doesn't like giving up too many points. He doesn't want anybody else to get in that end zone, so he'll take every point he can get. It's a good snap and a good hold. The kick is up, and it is good.
Nailed it.
And so with 8:37 left, the Red Tornadoes are going to jump out to a 3-0 lead, score on their opening drive, thanks to the foot of number 24, Julian Stellar.
And Jim, I know we said we weren't going to talk about it a whole lot, but I just wanted to bring it up.
I said I wasn't going to talk about it. I knew you were going to talk about it.
The Red Tornadoes usually have some luck going for those 3-point attempts, those field goals here at Ghost Stadium.
Yeah, the last time the Red Tornadoes were victorious out here in Ashland was, again, thanks to I have to check it again, about a 30-yarder by Robbie Verano at that point for a 44-41 victory.
Yeah, that was a big win, and like I said, hopefully history repeats itself. I don't know how many times we usually kick field goals. It doesn't happen a whole lot.
Well, Stellar, that makes him 3 for 3 on the year now.
Yeah, so he's doing pretty well this year, very well.
And while he'll handle the place kicking and the extra points, it'll be Chapman kicking off as he always is. That'll be number 44. Looks like he's kicking deep to number 13. That's going to be Josh Stankiewicz. And it's a low bouncer. It's picked up by number 44 for the Spartans. That's going to be Cody Shell. He'll get out across the 30. We'll see exactly where they mark him down. It'll be at about the 36-yard line.
Yeah, Jim, it looked like that one kind of came off the side of Chapman's foot there. Not exactly what you want to do. This is a high-powered offense, and they are a quick-hitting offense. They can turn a lot of big plays out offensively, as I said, with Leiby kind of spreading things open and keeping the ball himself a lot of the time. So they really need to toughen up and make a stop.
And we'll see Leiby in that pistol formation that you talked about, Dan. He's got Chawanski in the background, number 40, Tyler Elston. He comes in motion across the formation. Leiby's going to keep it himself off that right side, and he's up, and he's in the alley. He's into Red Tornado territory already, so there's a good surge over there. And a pickup of, we'll see where they mark it. It'll be at the 47-yard line. So that's going to be a pickup of about 14.
Yeah, Jim, last year it seemed like Leiby kind of did a lot of improvising, a lot of plays that weren't set up for him to run. This year, a lot more designed run plays for him.
You see the Spartans back up on the ball already, and Leiby's going to keep it himself after taking it away from Chawanski. He keeps it. He's across the 45 to the 43, so a pickup of 5.
And the Spartans quickly up onto the ball, but not as quick as Jersey Shore was last week.
Yeah, not a lot of room to breathe around here these days. Now this will look more like the Red Tornado. Leiby will bark something at the line, look to the sideline, get a different call. And now he'll come back and reset. He's going to throw this one. Oh, he keeps it. He moves to the right. Now he's up in the pocket, and he's just going to fall down. That'll be the easiest sack Chile ever gets.
Yeah, it will.
It's going to be a loss of 3, bring up 3rd and 9.
And, you know, as you said, it's definitely going to be an easy sack for Chile, but give a lot of credit on that one to Daukus keeping that contained. As soon as Leiby didn't see his first read, he went to tuck it and try and get outside on that right side. And Daukus did a good job of setting the edge over there.
Now 3 wide for the Spartans. And Leiby's going to keep it off that right side. And a great tackle there by Burkowski. He's going to be well short of that first down. Only pick up about 2, so it'll be 4th and 7.
Real nice job there from Burkowski, and good flow to the ball there for the Red Tornado defense. They did a good job, and it looks like we're going to see a punt.
Yeah, it's going to be number 19, Dylan Dietz, handling the punting duties for the Spartans, and they'll be snapping this from the Red Tornado 44.
For a coffin corner type kick here from Dietz, probably angling it towards the the sideline.
And that's exactly what he does, Dan. He's going to kick it towards Burkowski. Burkowski's going to catch it at about the 8. He makes the first guy miss. He'll get outside the 10 to the 12, but the Red Tornadoes will start their second drive of the game deep in their own territory with a 3-0 lead.
And that's a good decision there by Burkowski. Normally, they special teams coaches will tell you, put your heels on the 10-yard line, don't go past there. But Burkowski, seeing the downfield movement from the Spartans, does a good job of kind of not letting them down it inside the 5 because they were getting there pretty quick. So fielded it, got a couple, and got out of bounds, avoided taking a big hit, and avoided getting pinned too deep.
Red Tornadoes back at it. It's that handoff on the inside to Burkowski, and he has nowhere to go. There's going to be a flag on the play as well. So we'll wait and let the officials sort this one out.
Yeah, I don't think we're not doing too good this year on trying to guess penalties. So
that looks like it's going to be against the Red Tornadoes. I did see that motion at least. Wait exactly for the call. It was in the area of offensive holding.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's
Yes, it
what
is.
it'll be. So it'll be a half the distance penalty there from the spot. It'll bring the ball back to the 5. So again, with a 3-0 lead, the Red Tornadoes in the shadow of their own end zone.
Yeah, and it's not where you want to be, not where you want to be committing penalties, but nice to have 4 downs to try and get out of here. And at worst case scenario, at least give Chapman some room to get a punt out if it turns into that.
Reisinger will bring them up. Again, they're going to stay very tight here. With their shotgun double wing, they send Widener in motion, but it's the handoff the other way to Burkowski. Burkowski has a little bit of space. He'll get back over the 10 near the original line of scrimmage. We'll see where the mark is. It'll be still about a yard shy. It'll bring up 2nd and 11 with
Jim,
5:54 here in the first quarter.
And Jim, that was the last play that was run. It was pretty much the exact same thing, but they added a little extra motion into it, which kind of got North Schuylkill's defense moving with the motion, and they were able to get something out of that with the backside play there.
Yeah, there's no shortage of variations that Coach Dara has in his back pocket for some of these offensive sets.
That's very true.
Reisinger went with a hard count there. He had a little motion on the Spartans, but a little more on his own side.
Yeah, we'll have to see who they got first, see if the defense drew the offense off there.
Little conference. Again, we're pretty used to these at this stage of the game. Week 5 of this season. Yep, and they're going to get the Red Tornadoes for that one. So, well, 1 step forward and 2 steps back on this drive. But again, have shown the ability to move the ball thus far.
They absolutely have, and I don't know if this is one of the areas of the field where it would be great to run play action, but if they're able to maybe get a decent 3rd down, get a few yards here on the ground and get into a decent 3rd down situation, maybe hit a play action and go over the top.
2nd and 16, it's a pitch to Widener to the right side. Got a nice block from Burkowski. He's up over the 15 to the 16, so he'll pick up about 10 there.
And that's
nice play.
That was a real nice block there from Burkowski and Daukus. Both got out in front, and that pursuit from that Spartan defense is tough. They come looking for anybody to hit, and that, as I said, we're already seeing a physical game from both sides here.
They have a lot of big kids in the red jerseys tonight.
Yeah, there is.
3rd and 6. Reisinger, he's going to keep it himself and try to get to the edge. He has nowhere to go. The Spartans have been watching some film, Dan. They were ready for that. Take him down in the backfield.
Yeah, that was a well, good job by the Spartan defense. Kind of not that backside stayed home. You know, the backside tackle, defensive end, corner, linebacker, everyone was there. Reisinger had nowhere to go with that ball.
Yeah, well, one of the defensive ends for the Spartans on that side is the defensive end on that side is Jesse White, the senior captain, and he's not going to get caught over pursuing.
No, he's definitely not.
So Chapman's going to be punting from his own end zone. It's a good snap and a nice punt. Quick fair catch is called for by Stankiewicz. So the Spartans are going to start the drive pretty much where their last one ended, at about the Red Tornado 44-yard line.
Yeah, so the Red Tornadoes are going to have to do something here to kind of try and flip the field. They're going to need to force a turnover, or they're going to need to hold the Spartans right here. Because if they keep playing in their own territory throughout the game, it's not going to turn into a whole lot of points on that scoreboard.
Red Tornadoes on top here as the visitors against the Spartans, 3-0, 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Spartans come out with a very full house backfield out of the pistol, and they're going to hand it to that's big number 32. It's Jake Green, and he'll bully his way across, close to the 40. They'll get him at the 41, pick up a 3.
And that's a good job there by Reed Witkowski, giving up a lot of size to Big Green there, and not shying away from the contact, going in there, sticking his nose in there, and making a tough tackle.
I mean, now he's going to roll out to his right. He's going to keep it this whole way. He's got a lot of blockers in front of him, and it's going to be Reed again dragging him down, but not before Libby picks up the first down.
And Jim, Reed is doing a good job, as we talked about in the keys to the game. He's reading his keys. He's getting to the ball, but he's going to need some help from his other guys filling holes, so that if he makes all the tackles tonight, it's going to mean that the Spartans pick up a lot of yards.
Libby on the read option, he gives that one to Chewomsky, and he's got nowhere to go. He'll only pick up a yard. It'll bring up 2nd and 9 at the 32. But Dan, you mentioned before about the size Witkowski's given up. So Green goes 6'1", 280. Witkowski's out there all of 5'9", $190. So about 3 inches and 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's Libby again. He's got nowhere to go. I mean, that's number 21, Reed Witkowski, yet again, doing a great job of sniffing that one out.
And that time, Reed got a little bit of help from that defensive line with Chili and Mikowski in there. And those defensive ends doing their job, forcing Libby to turn it up inside. If Reed's able to make tackles at the line of scrimmage, they're going to be all right.
3rd and 10 from the 33-yard line for the Spartans. Libby's going to keep this one. He's going to throw it. Nope, now he's going to run, and he's got space in the middle of the field. And Libby's going to take it in from 33 yards out. The Spartans will hit the end zone first and jump out to a 6-3 lead with 2:14 left in the first quarter.
And Jim, this is where Libby, I talked about it earlier, this is where Libby hurt us last year. There wasn't as many designed runs for Libby last year. It was a lot of plays where he'd look, his first read wasn't there, so he looked to run, as he did right there. Great coverage in the defensive backfield from the Red Tornadoes, but Libby was just able to find that seam and turn it into a big play.
Number 24, Mitchell Lavelle, on for the extra point. It's up, and it is good, and the Spartans will stretch that lead to 7-3. Now, we mentioned before, Dan, about being live tonight. So the sights and sounds that you're seeing are courtesy of this week's sponsors, MCA Live and affiliate of WKMC TV. So let's not forget about all the great things WKMC TV does. And MCA Live specifically, you can catch it on Service Electric, Channel 13, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Again, it's live every day. And you have 2 hours of additional programming there. So make sure, if you're a Service Electric customer, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., you've got Channel 13 on. And then again, you can listen to us, or you can turn us down. But you can see the beautiful sights that the WKMC TV broadcast provides, again, courtesy of Service Electric, on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. It'll be Green again, and it's high and short. And my goodness, Stellar makes a great catch over his shoulder. And so there's a lot to unpack. It's gonna, we'll stop. It's gonna be 1st and 10 Red Tornadoes at the 42-yard line. But Dan, I don't know if you want to walk us through that one.
Well, looks like Green is just getting up underneath that ball. He kicked it probably about 23, 24 yards in the air and about a mile high. There was about a 6-second hang time on that. And Stellar caught that one over his shoulder with Spartans bearing down on him, but was able to hang on to it. Thank God. First down. Let's see what they can do on offense now if they can get things moving.
Even in the presence of mind to turn around and pick up a couple yards.
Right.
Speaking of picking up a couple yards, that's Widener, and that kid's going to work for every yard he gets. He'll be out across the 45.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait and see this. That's a tough spot. That spot cost him a yard there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Yeah. Well, it looks like this Red Tornado offensive line definitely looks like they're giving up some size. We got some beef on our offensive line, but we're definitely giving up some size to that defensive front from the Spartans, and they're doing a really good job of kind of handling their guys and opening up some seams for these backs.
Reisinger is going to throw it now. Does a nice job of climbing the pocket, but there's too many red jerseys there. He's going to go down around the original line of scrimmage. So we'll have number 32 again. That's Jake Green. He's in the area, initially flushed out of the pocket by 33, Jesse White.
Yeah, we're going to see White coming off that defensive end a whole lot, and he brings a lot of pressure. He's not one of those defensive ends that's going to be dropping out into flat coverage, I think, too often. I think he's pretty much got his hand on the ground and is just the coach is just saying, hey, go after the quarterback or get somebody in the backfield. So he's able to pin his ears back when the ball's kept by the quarterback.
So with 3rd and 11 from the 41, Mount Carmel's going to open it up, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Reisinger in a straight drop back. He steps up in the pocket and he throws a rifle to Chapman, and there's a big flag coming in, a much needed flag.
3 of them, actually.
It was egregious. He was open. Reisinger had the ball on the money, and the coverage was there a little bit early.
Yeah, it was a beautiful ball by Reisinger. Great job. Got a lot of pressure coming off of that edge. The offensive line does a good job of setting up a pocket for Reisinger to step up into. He delivers an on-target pass, and Chapman gets spun around before he's able to try and make a catch. So we'll see what they're... I think the Red Tornadoes are thinking this is going to be a spot foul, but this isn't the NFL. I think this is only a 10-yard penalty here and an automatic first.
We'll see how this is going to work out. It'll wind up being 15 is what they'll do. A little of the confusion, I think, was on this beautiful turf here at Gauche Orthodontics Field. The ball, Reisinger had enough zip on that one that it skipped a little way.
Yeah.
Took the officials a minute to get it, but we'll talk about turf at the Silver Bowl as well here in a short minute. But we've got a pitch to Widener, and Widener lost his footing, so he'll get back to the line of scrimmage at the 45 of the Spartans. We got 30 seconds left here in the first quarter. Spartans on top 7-3.
Yeah, and Jim, just something real quick I wanted to point out. Those guys at the initial line of attack, when we run those sweep plays, the Spartan defenders, they are going at Mount Carmel's defenders' or at Mount Carmel's blockers' knees to kind of take them out and not give them a chance. So they're knocking the Mount Carmel blockers down, which is leading to the Mount Carmel running backs tripping over their own blockers sometimes.
And that's going to lead us to the end of the first quarter as the Red Tornadoes are content to just let that clock run out. So again, at the end of 1, the Red Tornadoes trail the Spartans 7-3.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jim, as I said, the Red Tornadoes blockers doing a really good job, but the Spartan defenders just kind of nosediving, kind of falling on the ground, causing a pile almost on that line of scrimmage, which is making it real tough for the Red Tornado backs to find holes while on the outside. They've been having a lot more success up the middle on those quick hitter plays.
As we said before, as we get ready to start the second quarter, the sights and sounds of tonight's game are coming to you live thanks to the generosity of the Red Tornado community near and far. As the Mount Carmel Area School District and its partners continue to do big things, remember that no donation is too small. Be sure to listen throughout the broadcast each week for ways to support our efforts, or call 570-339-1500 for more information. Once again, you can get out to redtornadofootball.com, click the link, and catch us live right now, as well as Wednesday nights, 8 p.m., Service Electric. Courtesy of Service Electric, again, we had a big thing last year. It was their 50th anniversary. They've been supporting us for a long time, and we certainly appreciate everything that they do to make sure that the Red Tornado faithful can catch their team on Wednesday nights at 8 on Channel 13. 2nd and 10 for the Red Tornadoes. Reisinger's in the gun. He sends Bendis out in motion. He fakes it to him. Now they run that inside pitch to Wills, that is. And Wills does a nice job fighting, bouncing off tacklers. He'll be close to the first down. It'll depend on the spot, and they're going to give it to him. So great run there by number 4, Logan Wills.
And Wills with the second effort there, too. He got stopped up initially and had the wherewithal to just keep his legs driving and kind of slide off of 1 or 2 defenders and get that 2 or 3 extra yards to get that first down. So great run by Wills.
Reisinger sends Bendis. Nope. Bendis is going to come back for a block. And Reisinger throws it over, and he had Chapman. And that time the coverage got there simultaneously. It's going to be incomplete, but my goodness, Reisinger's under pressure and delivered a nice ball.
Yeah, it was a very nice ball where only his guy would be able to catch it. But as you said, the defense kind of got there right at the same time the ball did, wrapped Chapman up around his head, and was able to knock that one loose. Chapman, that's a tough one.
And give Bendis credit on that one as well. He takes the fake to the right, and he's got to loop all the way back around, and who's waiting for him but Jake Green. Excuse me, that was Jesse White, but this one's Reisinger. A little bit of the same success we saw last week, although not as effective here. He'll pick up 4. He'll bring up 3rd and 6.
But hey, worst case scenario here, Red Tornadoes can pick up a couple yards. Hopefully they at least get into Julian Steller's field goal range.
Yeah, you wonder where the outside of that range is, and at what point it's a 4-down. It's just 4-down territory.
Yeah, I think where we're at right now, it may be. I think once we get into the red zone, we can put, really want Julian to kick those 3 points.
Reisinger sends Bendis in motion, but it's a snap to the up guy. It's Daukus, and Daukus shows good patience, but it never opened up for him. So it is going to be 4th down. It's just a matter of 4th and what, and they'll give him 2 yards. So it's going to be about 4th and 2 here at the, try to get a look down there. It'll be the 26-yard line. Yeah,
and this is tough here, Jim. It looks like we might see Steller in that Wildcat set. So it is Steller range, but it's Steller range for the 4th and short here in the Wildcat.
I told you, that kid's going to get points on these drives one way or the other.
Yeah.
So again, 10-11 and counting left. The Red Tornadoes facing a 4th and 2 from the Spartan 26. They trail 7-3. Steller in there for Reisinger. A hard count, and they get movement off the end of that Spartan defensive line. So that'll be 5 yards. And of course, the 1st down. So the Red Tornadoes Reisinger will go back out there with a fresh set of downs.
So that time, Steller didn't have to do anything except go in there and bark out the cadence. So.
And again, Dan, it just goes back to what we talked about. There's so many different wrinkles that Coach Dara has in this offense.
Yeah, and it might look the exact same every time you come out, but there's a million things that Coach Dara can call, and these guys perfected it.
Reisinger, he's going to keep this one. He rolls to his right. He's looking to find somebody. Now he's in trouble. He's retreating. Somehow he's still on his feet. He's going to float it to the end zone. He's got Bendis. Just out of his reach, but my goodness, the only reason they had a chance on that was because of some terrific motion in the pocket by Reisinger.
Yeah, Reisinger did an awesome job kind of extending that play. A little, had me a little nervous there as he decided to cut back with a lot of red jerseys, but he made all of them miss and still was able to deliver a nice ball downfield, but just out of Bendis' range. That's a great job extending the play there by Reisinger.
And Bendis was always going to have trouble with that one because the North Schuylkill defender did a nice job of making sure that Bendis was never going to come down in bounds with that ball.
Right.
But it's going to be Burkowski again on that inside handoff. He tries to get to the outside, and he can't do it.
Yep, there's a face mask, too.
That's going to be another flag. We'll see which one that is.
If I'm correct this time.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You can kind of watch the way the Spartans are tackling, and I think they're ripping at the ball all the time, so their hands are always up in that upper half of the Red Tornadoes, and if you come down hard from up high to grab that ball, sometimes you just clip that face mask.
Just get that face mask, yeah, and both of these have been inadvertent, so just the 5-yard face mask, so no malicious intent behind it, as you said. They're just kind of going for the ball. They're trying to, you got to try and do something, force a turnover when teams continue to move the ball on you.
It's going to make it a 2nd and 4 from the 15. Reisinger is going to try the shovel pass to Widener that time, and again, like he always does, Widener steps through that initial arm tackle that gets him behind the line of scrimmage, and he'll pick up 2 yards when he really should have probably lost 2.
Yeah, and it looked like he almost got a little bit more. I think they called him down initially as he tried to squirm away, and it didn't look like his knee was down, but as you said, did a good job there just getting anything out of that. Now we'll see what the Red Tornadoes decide to do here on 3rd and short. Cannot have this only turn into 3 points this time. Have to get a touchdown out of this.
8:37, the Red Tornadoes trailing. 7-3. Reisinger's going to keep this one himself. He should have the first down.
Yep.
He's down around the 10-yard line.
I think that's going to have it.
Again, not necessarily as big of a chunk as we saw that play go for last week, but just as effective given the need, we'll say. And it's a Red Tornado first down again. Mount Carmel trailing 7-3 here, but
yes.
First and goal from the, oh, we'll see. They're going to give him the 9.5.
Yeah, it's going to be real close to that 10-yard line. So the Red Tornadoes are going to have to get all 10 yards on this first and goal pretty much.
We'll see how Coach Dara decides to go about doing that. They'll start it with the snap to the up back, Daukus. And he'll get maybe 2 down to the 7.
Yeah, they're definitely, the Spartans are tightening everything up. Now, the reason that the Red Tornadoes aren't having a whole lot of success on the outside is because their lateral quickness is impressive. The defensive backfield for the Spartans are doing a really good job of covering the field sideline to sideline. But I think they're having more success on those trap plays when they're able to get up in the 5-hole and the 6-hole, and those trap plays with Herb and Mikowski and things like that, getting out there for the blocks.
Reisinger moves to his right, and it's that inside shovel pass to Wills this time. But the Spartans are waiting on that. He'll get a yard to the 6. Now here we are, Dan. 3rd and goal from the 6. The Red Tornadoes, as you said, need to come away with more than 3 points.
Yeah, Jim, I think at this point, this is 4-down territory. Yes, you know Stellar can go out there and kick the field goal and get this to a 1-point game. But this is a long drive. This has to be at least an 8-minute drive already. And you can't have this not come away with 6.
Reisinger sends Widener in motion, and it's that same inside handoff to Burkowski, and Burkowski's in. So they got to see him, and he made it through. And the Red Tornadoes are in the end zone for the first time tonight. And they'll go on top of the Spartans 9-7 with the Stellar extra point pending.
And Jim, as I said, those trap plays are what's been working. Getting that very, very aggressive Spartan defense moving one way and having the ball come back the other way has been able to, and you get those pulling guards. It looked like Colin Herb, Chili, came off the field pretty amped up. So he must have been the one to set that block up to lead the way for Burkowski there.
Stellar's kick is up, and it is good. So that'll go true, and again, this lead will stretch. It'll be 10-7 Red Tornadoes on the road at Ghost Orthodontics Field in Spartan Stadium on top of the 3-1 Spartans.
So, Jim, we'll see how the Spartans answer here. And also, Chapman, a lot of 6:43 left, as you said. Spartans have a quick strike type of offense, but they can also piece drives together. So Chapman needs to get a good kickoff here. They can't. The Spartans can't start with the ball around the 35, 40-yard line with a short field. Get them down, tackle them inside the 20, around the 20, and make them work with a whole field.
Dan, one thing that when we talk about how we want to open the broadcast, a lot of different things get kicked around. And one thing that I kept coming back to was this idea of 4. So 4, the 4 wins. Both teams are vying for their 4th win.
Yep.
Both teams have played a lot of games lately that haven't really mattered much in the 4th quarter. And speaking of 4, that's number 44. Chapman kicks it all the way down to the 9, and it's going to be returned by number 8 for the Spartans. That is Danny Grigas, and he'll get to about the 27, but again, Dan, not the 40 or anything like that. Yeah,
that's exactly what Chapman needed to do. Did a good job, boom that kick down there deep. Good job on the kick coverage. Like you said, it's much tougher to go 75 yards than it is to go 60.
Right. But yeah, Dan, the point I was getting at before was just the idea that, Spartans need to realize that they're in a fight here. You're going to play for all 4 quarters tonight.
They absolutely are, and I think the Red Tornadoes are prepared to do that tonight.
And Leiby's going to hand it to, that's the younger Chwanski. And he does a nice job getting out across the 20 to the 26, so close to a first down. Again, that's 29, Josh Chwanski.
Yeah, Michael Belichick does a good job on that corner. He's the edge player there at that corner. Does a good job just kind of sitting down, not letting Chwanski pick a side that he wants to make a move on him and making that tackle.
It'll be 2nd and 2 from the 35. Clock ticks towards 6 minutes. Again, the Red Tornadoes on top and on the road, 10-7 over the Spartans. Libby's in the gun. He's got 2 receivers split out to his left. He brings Dietz in motion, but Libby's going to keep it himself, and he tries to go right up the middle. He'll pick up the first down, but not much more. He'll get out to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, good job by, it looked like Troutman and Wikoski, those linebackers did a good job of kind of coming up there and not letting Libby get too much further past the point of contact there.
And Libby, I mean, that kid doesn't mess around. He's got over 600 yards rushing already in the first 4 games of the season. He had 166 last week on all of 13 carries.
Yeah, he definitely breaks off some big runs all at once.
So it's going to be Libby again on that zone read where he keeps it himself, and Wills is going to trip him up first. He'll get a yard, bring up 2nd and 9 from the 45-yard line.
And Jim, you mentioned that zone read. This running scheme is very simple for the North Schuylkill offense because their blockers do the same thing on every play pretty much.
Hard count out of Libby. Now they'll all look to the sideline.
And really, it just shows the vision of these North Schuylkill backs because they have to find a hole when it's zone blocking.
Libby's going to roll out to his left, and he throws it to, you'll see exactly who that is. Widener over there is going to make sure he doesn't get any further than where he caught the ball. Couldn't tell who that, oh, that was Dietz, number 19, so did a nice job holding on to it before he was thrown to the turf by Widener.
Yeah, that was Widener's wrestling skills there at work. he had him wrapped up there and wasn't going to let him go.
So it'll bring up 3rd and 5 from the 44-yard line. Big play here for both sides. Libby's going to keep it himself, and it's the wrong choice in that case because Troutman is fired up. And the Red Tornado defense stands tall. Take him for a loss back to the 43.
And that is a huge hold by the Red Tornado defense, which is going to give the offense the ball back with a chance to put some distance in this game before the halftime.
Dietz will be doing the punting again. He'll be punting to Burkowski and Pupo from the Red Tornadoes. They're standing at about the 21-yard line. So we'll see. Dietz has a nice punt. Burkowski's going to just wave and get away, or excuse me, that's Pupo. He's going to get away from that one. It'll bounce on this turf and get out of bounds. It'll be the 23-yard line. The Red Tornadoes start their drive. Speaking of turf, in the spring of 2019, Mount Carmel Area School District launched an unprecedented 3-year fundraising initiative to raise $1 million to restore and update the Mount Carmel area's famed Silver Bowl Stadium. The main fundraising effort will go towards the installation of a new all-weather field, with the goal being for various sports to have the ability to compete and practice at the Super Bowl facility. So again, if you want to help out in any way, shape, or form that's going to benefit the entire school, the entire community, call the school district at 570-339-1500. And that's going to be 1-0. Burkowski on that inside sally again. He'll get out to the 25, pick up a 3 with 3:26 left in this one.
Yeah, Jim, I like what Coach Starr is doing here. You want to put the ball in your running back's hands a few times here. If you're able to get 2 or 3 first downs, then you start throwing the ball because you don't want to give that quick strike offense of the Spartans a whole lot of time left if you have to give it back to them.
And there's not a whole lot of urgency, Dan. You're absolutely right.
Once you start getting a few first downs here, then you can start putting it in the air.
Reisinger goes the hard count. A little movement on the defensive line, but not enough. He'll snap it again. He'll finally snap it, and he hands it to Widener, who gets through the first line of defenders, runs over the second, and is out for a first down. So a tough run there. The clock will stop with 2:48 left in the half. The Red Tornadoes are on top 10-7 and pick up their first down of that drive.
Yeah, that's a very tough run there by Widener. This Mount Carmel offensive line is not backing down from this tough, beefy Spartan defensive line, and they're kind of handling them.
Reisinger again, they'll hand it off to Burkowski, that inside handoff. Spartans were ready for that one. They won't let him get more than a yard. But yeah, Dan, you talked about that defensive line. I mean, we have from the Spartan side, you got a freshman. I'm going to try to get a little light here. Freshman Robbie White He goes 5'11", 330. He's up there. Again, we talked about Green and White. They're up there. You also have, it looks like, number 66, Jason Lipshaw, a 6 foot, 255-pound senior. So you're not kidding, Dan, when you talk about the size of these kids.
Yeah, they are big and they are aggressive in there. And the Red Tornado offensive line, not scared.
And Reisinger's going to throw this now. It's a now pattern to Burkowski, and it's going to fall incomplete. So the clock will stop with 1:42 left.
Yeah, and that's one of those situations there. It looked like it came out of Reisinger's hands a little funky, had a little wobble to it, and Burkowski wasn't able to pull it in.
So first, again, third down for the Red Tornadoes on their own 33-yard line. Minute 40. It's a tough spot here. Coach Dara has some decisions he's got to make.
Yeah, I think at this situation, Jim, that you've been having the most success running the ball. So really, running the ball here isn't saying you're scared to give the ball back. It's saying you want to give your team the best opportunity to move the chains.
It'll be 3 wide for Reisinger. He's got 2 to the left, 1 to his right. He's going to roll out to his left, to his right, his left, my goodness. And he's going to hit Wills, who makes a big catch at inside.
And that is a great blitz pick up there, too.
So you hear it, I'm sure you can hear it on the broadcast. The Red Tornado sideline fired up as, again, we talked about the Spartans hitting high. Wills' helmet is ripped off his head.
Yeah, and they're going to make Wills take a play off, even though the helmet was ripped off after the play. But great job by Wills hanging on to that football and picking up that big first down for the Red Tornadoes. And great, I don't know who it was in the backfield, if it was Widener or Bendez or Burkowski, but somebody with a huge blitz pickup there coming off the edge gave Reisinger just enough time to get that ball out.
It was a tough throw for Reisinger, rolling to his left, but man, was it on the money.
Yes, it was.
And give Wills all the credit for making a huge catch, but Reisinger's going to keep this himself up the middle, and he doesn't have anywhere to go. Now, the Red Tornadoes do have their full complement of timeouts, all 3 of them. Don't look like they're ready to use it just yet as the clock ticks towards 1:20, and it's 2nd and 9 from the Spartan 47.
I think one more first down here, Jim, would kind of force the issue for Coach Dara to start calling those timeouts, get into what we talked about earlier, stellar range, to maybe put another 3 points up at least.
Reisinger brings Burkowski in motion, and he fakes it. Now he's going to throw it to Wills again, who makes another great catch, and Wills will be driven out of bounds. So another big play all the way down at the 25-yard line. Huge play.
And Jim, these are all plays that the Red Tornadoes ran last year to Jack Chapman. Now Jack Chapman, being known as the #1 target for Reisinger, getting all the attention, is opening things up for Wills on the other side to kind of get free, have single coverage. And Wills is a big kid, and he's athletic. He's going to beat single coverage most of the time.
And it'll actually be down to the 24-yard line, so it'll be a pickup of 24. 58 seconds left for the Red Tornadoes, 1st and 10. And they hand it to Widener. Widener just does what he does. He puts his head down and he powers through. He won't pick up too many yards, but now we'll see timeout from the Red Tornadoes.
And this is the situation. This is when you do it. You know, you start using your timeouts when you know you're probably not going to be giving the ball back to the other team. You're either gonna score or this clock's gonna run out.
We talked about it a couple times tonight, Dan, but just remember, again, you're watching it now at redtornadofootball.com.
Or directly on YouTube.
Or directly on YouTube, right. If you can't get enough of this game, and certainly how could you get enough at this point, you can watch us again on Wednesday nights, Service Electric Channel 13 at 8 p.m. A big thank you to Service Electric for always making that programming available. And the whole reason you have us at all tonight is thanks to MCA Live and WKMC TV. They're our sponsors tonight, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. on that Service Electric Channel 13.
Yep.
It's a live broadcast, comes straight out of the high school TV studio. It's entirely student run. It's a terrific program that Mr. McPhee runs there.
Yeah, it's a great program.
Mr. McPhee and Mr. Tresker.
Yep, Mr. Tresker and Mrs. Rumble has a big part in that too as well. Kind of getting the news reporters in there as well.
Reisinger, he rolls to his right. My goodness, so he's going to go for broke, and he has Wills. He's going to at the 1 yard line, and Dan, I'm blown away right now. My goodness, that's another 23 yards.
Get Wills this inside shovel pass, whatever you have to do. Get that kid his 6 points. He's worked the ball all the way down the field. Let him get his points here. Let him get his score. Put him in the backfield, whatever you have to do. Get Wills in the end zone.
What they are going to do is they're going to get Stellar out there. So he'll go out, or he'll go in, rather. Reisinger will come out, so that certainly adds another wrinkle to how the Red Tornadoes might go about this.
Yep.
Again, first and goal from the 1, 45 seconds left. Stellar is going to keep it himself, and he's not going to get into that one.
No, looks like he's going to lose a yard.
Yep, so big play there by the Spartan defense. They certainly showed up, and Mount Carmel's going to burn its second timeout, stopping the clock with 38 seconds left. Again, the Red Tornadoes facing a second and goal from, see, about the 2 now. On top of the Spartans, 10-7, threatening here.
And Jim, there's something that we talked about earlier on in the game. I don't want to say it just in case Coach Dara is on the same page as us, because there are people watching this live that could, you know, relay the feed if they wanted to. But there's a lot of opportunity with Stellar in at quarterback, but we're not going to see it because Reisinger's in at quarterback. But it's the same opportunity for this play, and that can kind of get us to see what we were looking for, and also maybe get Wills that touchdown. We'll see what the Red Tornadoes decide to go with here. They've thrown the ball all the way down the field. That may be how they have to score it too, this close to the goal line with that tough Spartan front.
Well, the ball's set on the right hash, so that's to the North Schuylkill side. So the wide side of the field is coming towards the Red Tornado sideline. If you want to get in any kind of lateral motion, any kind of sprint to the corner, you have to come to your left. And Burkowski's going to come to his left, and he doesn't go to the corner. He puts his foot in the ground. He gets up inside, and he's going to score from 2 yards out. It'll be a second rushing touchdown of the night. And the Red Tornadoes are on top of the 3-1 Spartans, 16-7, with the extra point pending and 34 seconds remaining in this first half.
Now, Jim, this is one of those situations. First of all, first thing we need is the extra point from Stellar, make it a 10-point game. And then you need a good kickoff from Chapman and really good kick coverage. You can't put the Spartans in Hail Mary range or field goal range or anything like that. They cannot score in this half.
It's a good snap and a good hold and a good kick, and the Red Tornadoes are firing on all cylinders right now as they jump out to a 17-7 lead, again with 34 seconds left in the first half.
Yes, they are, Jim. I don't know. I think maybe it's the Cole region feel here tonight in the stadium, but we talked about it before. That sideline is fired up, Jim. There is no fear in any of those players. A lot of people say, "Oh, North Schuylkill's tough. We haven't beat them in this long." These guys, they don't care about that. They don't care about that, and they're playing like it.
Yeah, I think you talk about, you know, sometimes you try not to fire a team up. You don't want to. This is a big game as it is. You don't want to give any teams additional reason to be excited.
Right.
But early on, I mean, Widener got drugged down out of bounds on the Red Tornado sideline.
Yeah.
There was the shot on Wills with the helmet.
Yeah, with the helmet coming off.
I mean, again, and that has nothing against the Spartans. Those were clean. It happens from time to time. But that's the kind of stuff that if you're looking for a reason to get excited, that's going to do it for you.
Absolutely it is. And we'll see Chapman kick it off here and see what they can do, how this kick coverage turns out.
Chapman's going to drill that one. It'll be taken at the 9. And then he takes a big shot from, we'll see who that was. Again, that was number 8, Danny Grigos again.
And it looked like number 34, Joey Bendis, getting down there and putting a big hit on Grigos.
It was a big hit. And again, exactly what you talked about, Dan. It'll start the drive at the 31, but with 27 seconds left, even with 3 timeouts, that's a long way to go to make any kind of headway.
Now here is the tough decision for the Mount Carmel defensive coach. If you play it safe, you want to throw your guys deep in like a prevent, the running game is going to chew up a lot of yards.
Yeah.
So really it's a decision here. You got to play this normal. Your defense has been holding up. You got to play it normal, which is what looks like they're doing.
And I think the way the Spartans are going to spread them out, the Red Tornadoes are going to lose some of that choice themselves. They're going to have to go deep, and Leiby's going to throw it as far as he can, and he had Chawanski My goodness, Chauncey had beat his guy. The ball hit him in the hands, bounced off his face mask, and fell to the turf.
Yeah, it looked like there was a little separation created there by Chauncey, which gave him that extra step there on Belichick. And thankfully for the Red Tornadoes, he wasn't able to pull it in. But Libby puts the ball right on target.
So we'll see what the Spartans do here again. 2nd and 10, 20 seconds left on this one. The seconds matter more than the down and distance. Libby's going to take the snap and roll to his left. Now he's going to throw it in the middle of the field, and he misses. That's number 40, Elsden. It kind of goes through his hands again and falls to the turf. There were enough white jerseys around there, though, that at some point, I think, if you're Coach Hall, you just run the ball into the line and head into halftime and regroup.
Yeah, I think whether Elsden comes down with that pass or not in that situation, he's getting hit pretty hard and not going too far past midfield there. And this may be where we see it. Looks like they might be tightening things up a little bit here.
Yep, Libby back in that pistol with Chauncey behind him, and that's the younger Chauncey. He'll keep it himself. And Libby's he's got the biggest home run hitter they got, and he's going to try to do what he can and get across the field. Now he fights hard to get out of bounds, and I think he does.
Well, the clock stopped, so whether he did or not, they're getting some time here.
The clock will stop. They have a timeout, and we'll see. And that's what Coach Hall will take the timeout, because this is kind of what you talked about, Dan. Again, we haven't seen too much from Libby. We didn't see a lot in pregame. You don't typically practice throwing 60-yard bombs, but
right.
I'll be curious to see if they just decide to throw it as far as they can, or if there's some kind of hook and ladder situation that they've saved just for moments like this.
And I could see this Spartans team, I've seen on film them run double reverses, halfback pass type plays. So that may be something to look for as we see Libby, the biggest home run hitter that they have on this team. If they want to get the ball out of his hands and maybe do some sort of Philly special type stuff and try and get it back into his hands in open field.
Well, we did see when they were practicing, they did run kind of an inside reverse. They had number 5, Jake Hall, in the slot.
Who's also the backup quarterback.
Right, so it'll be curious to see if they try anything. Now, interestingly enough,
Jake Hall is on the
Hall
field.
is out there. He's going to be in the slot on the right side. He's covered up by Dietz and the 2 receivers to the left as well. But Libby's going to throw this one himself. Now he's under pressure, and he just floats it to the middle of the field, hoping to make something happen. And the Spartans are going to come down with that, I think. We'll see. But what's more important, again, that'll be a catch, and it'll look nice on the stat sheet, but ultimately that's going to do nothing for the Spartans as the first half comes to a close, and the Red Tornadoes on the road opened up a 10-point lead and continue to lead 17-7 as we end the first half. We'll be back after a few. Hello and welcome back to Gauche Orthodontics Field at Spartan Stadium, where the visiting Red Tornadoes are, somewhat surprisingly, I would say, on top of the Spartans 17-7 in somewhat dominant fashion. Dan, do you have any stats to back that up for us?
Yeah, Jim, I definitely would say the stat lines may not prove it to be completely dominant, but just they're really controlling the ball, which Jose did a good job of keeping track. That was one thing I said earlier. We held the ball for 17 minutes. 17 of the 24 minutes in the first half. We held the ball. And held North Schuylkill to only 4 possessions. And in that time, Mount Carmel has 24 rushes for 60 yards. And I believe both of our touchdowns by short Noah Burkowski runs, correct?
Yep.
And the opposing rushing, 15 carries for 96 yards. But a lot of that coming on that Jaden Libby touchdown run.
Well, yeah, it's the 2 runs. It's a 33-yard run, and then the second to last play of the half, he picked up about 20 more.
Right. And passing-wise is where the real skew is. MCA, 8 of 11. Reisinger doing a really good job for 116 yards. And the North Schuylkill Spartans, as we expected, 2 of 3 for 25 yards. The Red Tornadoes have 10 first downs to the Spartans 6. So, as I said, that time of possession is a huge. That is what's shown you how the Red Tornadoes have kind of been dominant throughout the game.
Yeah, they have, Dan. It's kind of what they needed to do, I think. And some of what they're doing now, and some of what we saw in the first half, you had outlined ahead of time as things that the Red Tornadoes needed to do to be successful.
Yeah, and Jim, this is the first time throughout the season that I've been able to do this for the Red Tornadoes, so kudos to them. We're going to highlight, boom, 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 all 3 of those Mount Carmel keys to the game.
It's a banner day here at Gauche Orthodontics Field.
Yes, it is. Reed Witkowski been all over the field defensively, making a lot of tackles and really kind of stopping up that tough rushing attack from the Spartans. We've been able to soften that tough Spartan defensive front up with these long runs, that 116 passing yards that we have. And the best offense is a good defense. Defense been doing a really good job of stopping the Spartans, getting the ball back for our offense, who has been doing a really good job of holding the ball. And going to North Schuylkill for their keys, I'm only going to mark off one of them for them. And they've been
stingy of you.
Yeah, they've let Libby loose today. They've been doing a good job. Libby's been doing a good job of kind of making plays happen with his feet, but the Red Tornadoes have been doing a really good job of kind of stopping everything else. The Red Tornadoes have been going over the top. They've been kind of beating the Spartans' defense deep, and those zone reads are not entirely panning out.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the zone. I would say the way that the Red Tornadoes are defending the zone reads, and the way that they're really pass blocking for Reisinger. I mean, the line, both offensive and defensive, who, we probably haven't talked about as much as we should throughout the season.
Right.
Because, again, I'll complain about it to the end of time. Between the Red Tornado offense and some of these other teams' offense, there's hardly a second to breathe in between snaps.
Right.
But both sides, for the offense and defense, the line has really come to play tonight.
Yeah, they have, and they're taking this challenge. I think they're taking it kind of personal, that a lot of people have kind of almost written them off going into this game because of the size difference. And like you said, they came to play tonight.
Well, you can't measure heart, Dan, and Chapman's going to drive this one down to the 10-yard line. That'll be Stankiewicz. He'll pick his way. There's going to be a flag, 2 flags. And the ball's come out. Nope, check that. The ball did not come out. There was some other activity going on.
Yeah, a little extracurriculars there, but we'll see what the flag is.
And as of right now, the ball is down at the 28-yard line. That's going to be a block in the back against the Spartans, so we'll dock them a couple more.
Yeah, and as we see, move them back a little bit, and Reed Witkowski was rolling around down there after the play, and
yeah, of course he was.
He's all fired up, getting the defensive play call from the coaches on the sideline. So we'll see if Reed plays like a man possessed here, like he did in the first half.
Yeah, that'll be a 10-yard penalty back to the 18.
So this is exactly what the Red Tornado defense wants to start the second half with a 10-point lead. Put them in minus territory here and keep them there.
Libby under center, and he's going to turn around and give it to Elsden, who's going to use some of that size and get himself out to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, and when they go I formation, these are more traditional run plays, and they're not zone reads.
Let's think about the size of that backfield
power
right now,
plays.
Dan. So they're going to give it up front to number 32, Jake Green, and Green will be out near the 30 for a first down.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it.
So they'll move the sticks there, but again, when they that I formation, Dan, that's the, what do we say, the 6'1", 280-pound Jake Green,
Yeah,
in front of the 6'2", 228-pound Tyler Elsden.
jeez.
And Elsden,
A lot of
again, he's
beef in
going to
there.
run through an arm tackle, but he'll get upended there by Widener after he picks up another 4 yards.
And Jim, nice. I like the adjustment here by Coach Hall. Not having a whole lot of success with the zone read plays. Go to a more traditional. These are power plays, kick down, block out type plays.
They're going to pitch it to Elsden, and not as much success for him there. He'll get across the 35 to the 36. It'll bring up 3rd and 3.
So with this type of offense that the Spartans are playing, you might want to call. We might be able to call this staying on schedule for the Spartans offense.
Libby's going to take the snap, and he's going to hand
Counter
it to.
play.
That's Chawanski. Chawanski, the elder, we'll call him. That's Zach, and he's across the 40 for a first down and a couple more.
Yeah, and Jim, this is more pro style offense. They're getting some success with this, so they're sticking with it.
Libby again. That'll be Chawanski again off the right side, and he just puts his head down, and he'll pick up another 5 yards.
Yeah, so Red Tornadoes defense kind of at a loss here. Not sure what they need to do. I think they're going to have to really start pinching down on those defensive ends, not getting kicked out, and kind of closing up that 5 and 6 hole that they're running.
Chawanski again, and Chawanski's in the open field, and now it's a foot race, and nobody's going to catch him. That's going to be a 55-yard touchdown run by number 39, the senior, Zach Chawanski. And just like that, the Spartans are right back in this one. It's 17-13 with 9:58 to go in the in the third quarter.
Yeah, and Jim, that a lot of change to this North Schuylkill offense coming out of the locker room here. Coach Hall kind of coming out with a different mindset. Saw something, had to see something on film that he thought he could exploit from that first half, and doing a good job of it.
Spartans get themselves situated. Libby's the holder there. And it's Mitchell Lavelle. It's a high snap, and it's missed. He doinks it off the post. So that'll stay with a 4-point difference. And in a game like this, you have to think every point's going to matter. So we'll see how that plays out later on tonight.
Absolutely, Jim. They hope that it doesn't come down to a 4-point, decision, but that, like you said, this is one of those games where every point may matter.
Now, Dan, I'm not particularly fond of doing this because I don't want to set any expectations for those out there watching us, but if the drive's quick enough and early enough, we can cobble together a little drive summary. I mean, that's a 2-minute drive,
right? Less
than 2-minute drive, and it went 82 yards.
Yeah.
So if you're trailing, you want to score quickly. That's certainly how you do it.
Yeah, definitely helped by that long 55-yard run by Chawanski.
And there's Green. He's going to kick it way up in the air to Troutman. Troutman's going to take a fair catch at the 29-yard line.
And that's a good decision by Troutman there. Green, this is the third time he's kicked off now, and the third time that the kickoff has been like that, very high and pretty short. You're already starting in decent field position there. You're not going to take a hit. So that way, Troutman calls that fair catch, is able to focus on just catching that ball. So good. I think that's a good decision.
Red Tornadoes, you'd think, Dan, they need to answer here in some way, shape, or form. And they're going to start with that inside handoff to Burkowski. And Burkowski had a seam. He'll get across the 30 out to the 34, give him 5, bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, Jim, I think if the Red Tornadoes don't answer here, it's a big momentum shift in the Spartans' favor. So the Red Tornadoes need to put together at least a lengthy drive here and hold the ball like the way that they did in the first half.
Looking at the sideline again. One thing, too, when the Spartans are scoring that quickly, it'll be interesting to see how the time of possession looks at the end of the game.
Yeah, I'd definitely be interested to see that.
Time of possession versus the ultimate outcome. Reisinger brings Burkowski in motion, but this time he fakes to Burkowski, gives it to Widener. Widener fights hard for a yard. It's going to be 3rd and about 4.
Yeah, and Red Tornadoes here cannot be denied here. They need to get a first down just to kind of keep the wheels turning on this offense that has been extremely successful through the first half.
No, and I think what you saw there is, if for lack of a better term, I mean, the Spartans came out and they kind of punched the Red Tornadoes in the mouth with that drive.
Yeah.
And so it's just a matter of how are they going to react. And a first down goes a long ways towards kind of finding your feet again.
Right, exactly.
Reisinger, the shovel pass again, and this one's going to be bounced around, and it'll be called incomplete. It is a forward pass. It may look funny, but
yeah.
It is, in fact, a forward pass. So that's the correct call by the official.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 4th down.
4th down, Red Tornadoes.
And again, that's not really a judgment call there by the officials. That's just because it's happening behind the line of scrimmage. It is still, and it looks a little different. It still is indeed a forward pass.
Exactly, right. And a lot of people get kind of mixed up with that inside shovel pass, but as you said, it is a pass.
But nonetheless, it's a great play by the Spartans, forcing the Red Tornadoes to punt. And Chapman does a nice job getting that off, and it's going to bounce. And my goodness, so Mount Carmel doesn't really catch a break there. It's a great punt by Chapman.
Very nice punt.
The Spartans opt to not return it. It hits the turf at about the 33-yard line and then just takes a left.
Yeah.
And doesn't bounce any further into Spartan territory. So they'll start their second drive. Again, their second drive of the second half is going to start with 8:14 left in the third quarter. So not yet 4 minutes have elapsed.
Yeah. Yeah,
and the Spartans trail 17-13.
Yeah, with a very quick score to start the half, and then a pretty quick forced punt there by the Spartans defense. They said that looks like there's a little bit of life on that North Schuylkill sideline. Same pro set here too.
And Wybe's going to hand that to Elsden again. And Elsden is just carrying Red Tornadoes with him. He's out around the 40-yard line. We'll give him the 39, so it'll pick up about 6.
Yeah, Jim, a lot of the time you see big guys like Green and Elsden in the backfield. You think that you got to hit them hard. You don't have to hit them hard. You got to hit them low. They're going to carry guys if you hit them around the shoulder pads. They got to hit them down at the knees.
And it's Elsden again. And there's the danger there. You saw it as Elsden picks up the first down, and a little bit more is if you do opt to go low, Elsden, he's big and athletic enough that he pushed away a Red Tornado helmet and just kept on moving.
Yeah, but that's what the Red Tornadoes are going to have to do. They're not going to get into a shoving match with these big backs. They need to hit them low and wrap them up.
1st and 10 from the Spartan 48. Leiby, this time he turns around and he hands it to Chwanski. Chwanski's in Red Tornado territory. He'll be dragged down after he picks up around 4. It'll bring up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, it looks like we got a shaken up Red Tornado. Looks like Reed Witkoski, who came off of the backside on that play, grabbed a hold of Chwanski's jersey about a yard from the line of scrimmage and rode him down, but looks like he might be cramping up there.
So we'll take a second here. Again, we talked about how you can watch this broadcast on Wednesday nights, WKMC TV, so we've got your Wednesday night covered. We know where you are Friday night. You're here with us. What are you going to do on Thursday night, Dan? Thursday night, you're going to go to Matucci's Willow Street Cafe for Supper Club.
Absolutely.
Another season of Mount Carmel football means another season of Supper Club. Supper Club gives the community a chance to interact with different players, cheerleaders, and band members, as well as get some information from the coaching staff on the upcoming game. So if that piques your interest, you want to make your way to the back room at Matucci's Willow Street Cafe in Mount Carmel at 6:15 p.m. every Thursday night of the football season for great food and great conversation.
Yeah, Jim, unfortunately I wasn't able to make it to Supper Club this week, but I try to be a regular at Supper Club. I get to know a lot of these players off of the field, and also get to you know, kind of pick Coach Darrah's brain, see what's coming up for this week, what the plan is, and you know, sometimes get some little insider trading deals going on there with Coach Darrah. I get some information that you know, some people may not be able to get.
Wachowski's up and off the field, which is always a great sign, but the Spartans are back on, and that means a handoff to Chawanski, and a good tackle there made by Bendis.
Yeah, Bendis did a good job kind of closing down, coming behind the offensive line's initial push. But this is where the Red Tornado defense really needs to toughen up.
Yeah, and look,
and get a stop.
And the Spartans bring the beef back in again. It's 32 Green and 40 Elsden behind him on a 3rd and 2. And it's going to be a handoff to the up guy who's Green. And the Red Tornadoes do a nice job of stopping him, but it's going to be tough to say whether or not they prevented him from picking up a yard and a half.
They're giving him the first down there. I don't know about that spot, but they're going to give it to him. As you can hear, the Red Tornado faithful not happy with the spot there, as am I. They gave him a lot of help on that one.
The toss to Elsden off the left side, and he's got the corner for a second. It's a big hit over there. There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, it should be a hold or a block in the back. That looks like the area of it, but as I said earlier, I should stop guessing, because sometimes, a lot of the time, I'm wrong.
Wasn't able to see exactly what the jersey number was for the Red Tornadoes, but that was a big stick.
Yes, it was. I think it might have actually been Bendis there flowing to that side of the field.
Whoa, so that was loud for a second. I'm not sure if you were able to pick that up, but that's a holding call against the offense. So that'll take him back inside Spartan territory. Really the first misstep of the half.
And as you said,
Spartans.
I don't know if you saw the North School coaching staff very upset with that call, because this is kind of slowing that momentum that they've gained up to this point.
They'll take him back to the 47. It'll be 1st and 20. And now it's a pitch to Chawanski, and does a nice job.
And there's another
flag on the play.
In the area of holding, I should say. I continue to.
So we'll wait and see where they mark. So they mark Chawanski at the 45 of the Red Tornadoes, but the hold was indicated early in that backfield. And now there's a little conversation going on. So we've got a lot going on. So number one, there's going to be a flag against the Spartan sideline. That was thrown by the far judge along their side. And there's also some conversations going on between the official and the Spartan huddle. So we'll try to see what's going on.
Yeah, so we will see exactly what's going on here.
Looks like they're going to get away with just a warning on that one on the sideline.
Yeah.
So it's going to bring up a 1st and 32 from the 35. It'll be Chawanski behind Green, and Leiby's going to keep this, and Chapman gets out there first and sends Leiby back inside, but Leiby's going to fight. Does a great job of getting up in that crease, and he's back into Red Tornado territory. So out of the 32 that they need, he picked up about 18 of them.
Yeah, and Jim, when they need the big play, Leiby has been the guy to answer their prayers when they need it.
And they're right back on the ball, and now it's going to be Leiby to the other side. So he's got nowhere to go that time, and what happened was he got in front of his blockers, and the Red Tornadoes were ready for him. So for all the hullabaloo about those two holding calls, it's going to be a 3rd and 12 for the Spartans at the Red Tornado 44-yard line. They trail 17-13 with 5.5 left in the 3rd quarter.
And again, Jim, this is where the Red Tornadoes really need to toughen up and force a 4th down play. Force Coach Hall to make a decision.
Now here we saw, this is something we haven't seen since the first half. Leiby barks some orders. Now he looks to the sideline. He'll look down the line and reiterate the marching. And they hand it to Chawanski, and the Red Tornadoes are ready for it. And he will get a yard maybe, so it's still going to be 4th and 11. We'll see what Coach Hall does.
Looks like he wants to go for it.
He punted in a similar situation earlier in the game.
No, yeah,
looks like he's going to do it again.
Yep, Dietz heading back to that punt formation. But this is the area of the field where the Red Tornado defense really needs to be aware of they need to watch the ball, and they need to make sure they watch that up back, who I believe is that
That's
Chawanski?
Chawanski, it is.
He's a big play threat.
So it's a low snap to Dietz, but there's no rush. He does a nice job. It's a beautiful punt
Let it go,
spiral.
Pupo.
Pupo makes the catch at the 5.
There's a flag.
There's a flag. He's going to dance around, not get anywhere. So that's one, and Coach Dara is not happy about that one.
Yeah, looks like the flag is going to push them back from the 7 or 8 if it is against the Red Tornadoes.
So we'll wait and see. Again, we had the first. Yep, that'll be a block in the back against the Red Tornadoes. So it'll be a half a distance penalty, so we'll see exactly where they start this drive. But I think if you're looking for some silver lining as part of the Red Tornado faithful, it's that you still have this lead. You got the big stop last time, courtesy of a couple holding penalties, but now you have the ball, and you have to do something with it.
Yeah, I think the Red Tornadoes need to flip the field here. They need to get a couple first downs if they are going to have to not if they are not going to put points up on the board. They need to get a couple first downs and give Chapman a chance to kind of flip the field and put North Schuylkill deep in Spartan territory.
Yep. So Reisinger fakes the pitch and he fights over the 5. Again, it was 1st and 10 from the 4. Fakes the pitch to Burkowski, goes up the middle, out to the 7. So give him 3, 2nd and 7.
Yeah, so good job there by Reisinger, kind of just picking his way through there. That offensive line is working real hard in there, especially when they're backed up this deep. The Spartans are bringing a ton of pressure with Mount Carmel backed up this deep, trying to get them in the backfield here, and the offensive line's doing a good job.
Reisinger, this time he's going to hand it to Widener, and Widener's got a little bit of space, but there's a flag. So Widener's out around the 10, but there was a flag. It came from one of
the back judge, it looks like. I don't know if he's going to call a hold here, but
he is.
I don't know how he could see it from back there, but all right.
So that's what that's going to be. So, you know, at one point, Dan, I felt like we were playing a pretty clean game on both sides. The first half kind of zoomed by, and now all of a sudden our third quarter is plagued by holding calls on both sides.
Yeah, on both sides, so you can't really get too upset, but I mean, just the area that the referee kind of threw that flag from, I don't know how he can see anything inside that line.
I don't know if anybody was watching the Thursday night NFL game last night, or if anybody knows who was watching it, but for those of you who were, I just got a tweet from Tom Brady that said he's turning this one off, too many holding calls.
Oh, Jim, that's good.
So Reisinger.
I wouldn't.
Now Reisinger's going to throw it out of his end zone. He's going to go down, and that's going to be a safety. The Red Tornadoes take a shot there, try to make something happen. Reisinger drops back in his own end zone, and he's going to be dragged down. And that'll be 2 points and the ball for the Spartans.
Yeah, that's a tough one there for the Red Tornadoes. Coach Dara trying to make something happen, dials up a pass play. Looked like there were some guys open downfield, but just no time for Reisinger. The Spartans brought a ton of pressure, and he had no time to even make a read.
So now here we are, 3:10 left in the third quarter. The momentum seems to rest solely with Sparty at this point. It's 17-15 Mount Carmel. They do still hold the lead, but just barely. A big safety there for the Spartans will cut the lead to 2, and as we said, they will get the ball. And this is safeties are always interesting, just because you don't. Do you kick in high school or do you punt?
They kick off, I believe, Jim.
But you kick off from
the 20.
It's definitely a detriment.
Yeah. It's going to be, or actually no, I think they are going to let Chapman punt it here. I don't know if this is necessary, if they have to, or if it's an option. I can't remember.
So we'll see what Chapman does with it.
It's a good punt, though.
Sky high punt, does a great job. It's going to be Stankiewicz all the way back at the 29. So if the Red Tornadoes get a quick tackle, Stankiewicz breaks one tackle, but he can't break the second. So all in all, for the Spartans to start the drive at the 42, it's a pretty nice job by the Red Tornadoes safety punt team, we'll call that.
I agree. They did about as good as they could on that. This is basically the best case scenario. Chapman gets a decent punt out there. They don't allow a huge return. So now we'll see if they can really toughen up here and get the stop that they need again.
same look at the Spartans. It'll be Elsden across the 45 to the 46.
And Jim, I don't know if you noticed this, but it looks like the Red Tornado defense making some adjustments, bringing out Mikowski, who's a little bit slimmer than Nick Nesico that they put in there, trying to beef up that defensive line.
Now Elsden's going to take the pitch, and he's wide open. And he's down the sideline. Burkowski and Burkowski and Pupo, that is, are going to force him out. But he's all the way down inside the 25. At the 25, they'll mark it. So that's a huge run there.
Yeah, the Red Tornadoes really need to shore up this defense to get a stop here. Now backed up deep, you know, their end zone not too far behind them. They have to get a stop here. They cannot allow the Spartans to score.
And it's Chwanski behind Green. This time they hand it to Green. And Green's going to get you about 2 or 3 yards every single time, regardless of how well the Red Tornadoes play it.
Right. Yeah, which they played that extremely well, and he still was able to get 2.
So we'll see the Spartans right back up on the ball. And this time it's going to be Chwanski, and Chwanski's going to make a nice move to get over the 20.
He's going to be close to a first down there.
He's down to the 16. Their marking is about a 3rd and a foot, we'll call it, but there's a Spartan down for the moment. So we'll pause here as they tend to him. Dan, one thing that keeps getting to me, especially as we watch the way the Spartans are operating this offense, is that it reminds me of a boxer in the sense that Green and Elsden up the middle and the Spartan up off the field, and he'll walk off, so that's always great to see.
Yeah.
But it's all, and that was Chwanski, but it almost looks like they're the body blows.
Yeah.
Right? They're the body blows. They're softening that Red Tornado defense up, and then they go with Chwanski, who again, he's not a slot back or a fleet of foot back at all, but he is when you compare him to Elsden and Green.
Right.
And he's able to kind of get up into that second level or get to the outside and make a big play.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they've been doing. They've been kind of lulling Mount Carmel to sleep up the middle and then getting them to tighten things up and then hitting them on those outside pitches and things like that, just like you said. And it's been working for them thus far. The Red Tornadoes really need to wake up defensively.
And there's that pitch to Chwanski on 3rd and 2, but that's the younger Chwanski. Belichick does a nice job of tripping him up, but his momentum's going to carry him over the first down marker into the 11, down to the 11. So we'll be in one of Dan's favorite situations here. 1st and 10 from the 11. You get a first down but without scoring, but you got to really try.
That would be great if they could get a first down but not score on this whole drive. That would be awesome.
And that's going to be the younger Chwanski again, and the Red Tornadoes are ready for him.
Yeah, he didn't go really anywhere on that, and you see Chwanski the elder, as you called him earlier, back in the game now after being shaken up.
Yep. Zach back in, so that's 39 in, 29 out. 2nd and 8 from the 10. 2nd and 9. Libby under center. Oh, and he fumbles the snap. The ball is on the ground.
And the Red Tornadoes have the ball.
Red Tornadoes are indicating they have it early, and they do. So with 1:10 left in the 3rd quarter, the Red Tornadoes catch a break.
And Jim, that's exactly what we'll call that. Looked like Red Tornado defense kind of starting to toughen up there as they were getting down closer to the goal line. But that play, huge for the Red Tornadoes, and they need that momentum shift. They need that momentum shift. They got a little bit of wind in their sails by recovering that fumble. Now they need a score.
Again, 1:10 left in the 3rd quarter. The Red Tornadoes on top, 17-15. And now with the ball, courtesy of the Libby fumble, at their own 12-yard line. Reisinger takes the snap, and he's going to hand it to, I'm going to guess that was Widener.
Yeah, I think it was Widener.
Couldn't get a look at the jersey number. It was Widener. He picks up, give him a yard. 2nd and 9 from 13, and we're under a minute left in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and the Red Tornadoes here, the body blows kind of getting blocked at this point. I think they're going to have to go for a knockout punch here, and as Coach Dara did on the last drive, but now Reisinger not dropping back into his own end zone, they're going to have to try and hit them deep.
And they're going to open it up here just as you called out, Dan. So 2 receivers split out way to the right. It looks like Chapman covered up by Burkowski. Oh, excuse me, that was Wills and Burkowski out to the right. Chapman was by himself to the left.
Yeah.
He runs a quick little comeback route, and he'll make the catch after he picks up 5. So it'll be 3rd and 5.
It's a nice catch there by Chapman. I think they're going to let this go to the quarter, which is a good decision for the Red Tornadoes. Give them some time to come up with a big 3rd down play call.
And we'll have that in just a minute. Again, at the end of the 3rd quarter, the Red Tornadoes on the road at Goforth Atlantic Field, Spartan Stadium, are on top of the North Schuylkill Spartans, 17-15.
All right, Jim. Red Tornadoes here. I said it before the break. We need some sort of play call dialed up here to get a 1st down. They got the fumble recovery. They spread it out a little bit, hit Chapman for the quick little hitter. We got a 3rd and 5 deep in our own territory. I'm interested to see what Coach Dara decides to do here. They've had success running the ball. They've had success passing the ball. He can go either way, but I think this is one of those situations where you need to get that offensive line, put it in their hands. Go up to them and say, hey, you guys have been doing a great job all night. You want them to throw it, or you want to let them run? Let them make the decision, because they're the ones out there executing the play.
Yeah, so we'll see. Again, we use that prize fight analogy again. It's you kind of made it through that round, right? You got knocked down, but you made it through the round. You get your corner, and you get your new game plan. And 3rd and 5, here we go. It's that inside to Burkowski, and the Spartans were just ready for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
they
it's
were all
Green,
over it.
it's White, Jesse White, Jake Green again. They're just 33 and 32. They've been in the Red Tornadoes' dream. They'll be in their dreams tonight.
And hopefully it is a dream for the Red Tornadoes and not a nightmare tonight if they're able to pull this one off and keep this lead. But again, Chapman punting from deep in his own territory.
That winds up being a 3-yard loss. So it'll be 4th and 8 from the 14.
Chapman really needs to get a good punt off here. I think they're going to bring pressure, and they are.
It's a good snap, and it's a great punt by Chapman. And again, they haven't had much luck. Nope, it's a good punt by Chapman, not a great bounce. It hit around the 43-yard line and just bounced back. So it'll be 1st and 10 Spartans on the +40. So they're in Red Tornado territory to start. They trail 17-15 with 45 seconds gone by in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, Jim, moving forward, hopefully the Red Tornadoes aren't in a position where they are forced into putting the ball in the air, but I believe that that's what they're going to have to do. I think North Schuylkill's kind of got the read for their running game. I think they're going to have to start throwing the ball more often to keep the lead, and hopefully it's not to regain the lead after this drive.
Here come the Spartans again. Elsden behind Green.
And you see those Mount Carmel linebackers creeping up.
Leiby's going to pitch it to Elsden off the side. That's a big hold there that they're going to get away with. The Spartans are going to get away with a big hold there right in front of the Red Tornado sideline, which is what makes it a little more egregious if you're cheering for Mount Carmel tonight, but it'll wind up being a 7-yard gain for Elsden.
Yeah, I couldn't see if it was 4 or 44, but it was either Wills or Chapman. You could see them with their one arm free just being wrapped up, almost tackled to the ground there.
But nonetheless, Leiby's going to pitch it to Elsden again on that side. And Elsden, it's just a great surge out there when they run those sweep plays. It's a 1st down. And that little bit more,
and that's all it's been, Jim, is really just kind of sealing off that one edge, and just a short push. There was only a 4 or 5 yard gain there, but enough to get the 1st down.
Down to the 26, it'll be 1st and 10, and now it's Jawanski up the middle, and that's just not there. The Red Tornado defensive front has done a terrific job all night stuffing that play.
Yeah, they have, and the 3 down line, there are 4 down linemen, and the linebackers have been doing a really good job getting in there. And it looks like Troutman looking to the sideline, asking for a blitz to be called.
Wants to make a play here. Leiby. Now they're going to pitch it to Chwanski again. They'll get another 4 or 5 yards.
It's going to be a 3rd and short here. 3rd very short.
And 3rd, and we'll call it about 3 from the 19-yard line.
And this is one of those put up or shut up plays for the Red Tornado defense. They need to. This is a play that makes the game here. If they can get a stop, force a 4th down, force the Spartans into a tough decision, it's big.
Leiby gives it to Elsden behind Green. He picks up the 1st down. He's down to about the 12.
Yep.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 12. 9:24. The clock is stopped as they move the chains. The Spartans trailing by 2, but threatening yet again in the second half.
Yeah, and even in this situation, Jim, this might be a situation where a field goal attempt is the option if it does come to a 4th down.
And it's the pitch to Elsden, and now the Red Tornadoes, you hear a sarcastic cheer from the crowd here as they'll finally get that holding call they've been so craving.
Yeah, and it's one of those plays when you see a play that's run continuously over and over, and it's continuously successful. Like these kids, they notice patterns, they know plays, so obviously there's got to be something going on to cause that play to continually be successful. And
right.
Again, thankfully at this point, the penalty was called and enforced.
The Spartans aren't going to waste any time. They're right back up on the ball. It's 1st and 20 from the 22. And now Leiby's going to keep this one himself. He moves out. He's all the way out to the right, but the Red Tornadoes do a great job of stringing him out of bounds. So pick up maybe 3 to the 19. But again, great lateral pursuit by Mount Carmel.
That was the best that the Red Tornadoes had defended that quarterback keep from Leiby all game. They did exactly what they had to do. If you're not going to get through those blockers, just keep holding them. Stay square with them. If you pick a side, you want to go outside, Leiby's going to cut it back inside. They need to stay square with their blockers and force him to the sideline as they did there.
Leiby, it's the pitch to Chwanski to the left side now. And Chwanski runs hard and he stays on his feet. He's running through arm tackles and he's all the way down to the... He won't get in. They'll mark him out of bounds. He's going to be just inside the 2-yard line. So a terrific effort by number 39, Chwanski.
Yeah, you got to give Chwanski all the credit on that. Looked like there might have been a block in the back up near the initial line of scrimmage, but it wasn't called, and Chwanski does a great job of not going down.
And Leiby keeps that one himself, and I don't think he made it. No, he tried to keep that one himself and just push it over, but again, he had a little more than 6 inches to go. He had about 1.5 yards. And as we said before, that front 4, that Red Tornado defensive line is just really doing everything they can tonight. So they're not going to give that one up that easily.
Yeah, they're doing all that they can. We'll see if they go sweep here, if they want to give it to the big 32, number 32 Green in there, because he might be the only one able to get a push to get in the end zone with that front 4 playing tough like that.
2nd and goal from the 1 for Leiby. His team trails 17-15 in the 4th quarter, and they do give it to Green. And Green stood up, but a second effort and a push. Green is in from 1 yard out. That'll put the Spartans on top for the first time since the first quarter tonight.
Yeah.
And they'll jump out to a 21-17 lead. Now, they did miss the extra point, so it'll be curious to see if they go for 2 to make this 6.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, 5 points, 6 points would at least, which is what we're going to see. We'll talk about it after.
We're going to go for 2. That pitch to Elsden. And he's going to not get in. The Red Tornadoes stop him. And that's a huge play, Dan.
That is a huge play for the Red Tornadoes. As I was going to say earlier, with the 4-point lead, the Red Tornadoes can't tie or take the lead with a field goal. But now, with just a touchdown, no extra point required, they will be able to take the lead. If the Spartans would have been able to get that 2, they would have needed a touchdown and an extra point to take the lead.
Well, that's a huge play by that defense because, again, and we've talked about it a lot, Dan, you give the credit to those guys up front, those big heavies in the trenches, but
yeah,
man, that was a tough drive.
Yes,
right?
It was.
That's a tough drive. You're gassed. You just gave up the lead, and you pull it together.
Yep.
and you make, you know, what may wind up to be the biggest stop of the night.
Yeah, and hopefully this Red Tornado offense that's kind of been suspect the whole second half. It's kind of it's been put in some tough situations throughout the second half, deep in their own territory, and have really been not able to get anything going. So now the defense is going to have to lean on the offense and say, hey, we need you to get us back, pick us up, get us some points.
Green kicking off. We'll see if this goes which is further, the height or the length. But that Red Tornado's got to do something about that ball. So Troutman's going to grab that on a bounce and get tackled at around the 31. But you kind of have the feeling that when Green kicks it like that, that's what he's looking for.
Absolutely. I think he's kicking it because it's always a directional kick. It's never straight down the middle. So he's probably got his quicker guys on the left side there. He's kicking it down high in the air to, you know, because who thinks to call a fair catch on the kickoff?
Right.
So when they catch it, either get a big hit right away and dislodge the ball, or have your guys get down there and almost catch it in the air.
Well, especially if you get it in between.
Right.
Then you got to figure out who's got it, I've got it, you've
what
got
way
it,
is the
nobody's
bounce
got
going?
it. Widener on the sideline for the Red Tornadoes here. Bendis in there with Reisinger. Reisinger takes a snap and he rolls to his left and he throws in the direction of Burkowski. It's over his head. So with 8:03 left, the Red Tornadoes are going to have a 2nd and 10 on their own 31-yard line, trailing the Spartans 21-17.
Yeah, Jim, and this is one of those situations that I said it before the last drive, that the Red Tornadoes are going to, I think this is a good decision throwing the ball. It's not what they wanted to do, but I think it's at this point now, it's what they have to do, trailing by 4 here, getting late into the 4th quarter.
Bendis still in there.
Yeah, I think Bendis more of the pass blocking back. They don't want to have Widener in there. He does a good job as Bendis does.
Reisinger under pressure now. He's going to throw it off his back foot. And luckily, it looked like Chawanski decided he was going to bat that one down. He only threw one hand at it. He could have easily intercepted that pass.
Yeah, Reisinger kind of throwing an errant pass there, just under a little bit of pressure, wanted to get it out and not take the sack, but kind of forced it somewhere where there was no Red Tornado receiver.
So 3rd and 10. Again, the Red Tornadoes in desperate need of something here. And you can see the personnel changes. Daukus and Wills come out. Belichick and Pupa go in. They're going to go 4 wide here, most likely.
Yeah.
It's Chapman, and we'll see, is that Burkowski on the right side. Pupo and Belichick on the left. Reisinger's in the gun with Bendis, and here we go. 3rd and 10 from the 31. 7:58 left. Reisinger. We got a flag.
Is it a delay of game?
I think that's what we're going to get. So that 3rd and 10 is going to jump back to a 3rd and 15 as the Red Tornadoes move in the wrong direction here on a pivotal play.
And Jim, I don't know if you were able to see it there, but looked like along with that front 4 that has been getting a decent amount of pressure on Reisinger when he drops back to pass, they were also bringing a linebacker. So they're bringing pressure at Reisinger. They're going to try and force him into a mistake.
Yeah, and that's one of the tough parts always about being down when the defense knows you have to throw.
Right.
They can kind of pin their ears back, so to speak, and go after the quarterback. And it looks like they may be doing that again as Elsdon comes hard. The pressure held for just a second before the big sack. Reisinger's thrown down all the way back at the 16-yard line. So, again, trailing by 4 with 7:41 left. The Red Tornadoes are going to be forced to punt.
Yeah, and we'll see now Red Tornadoes punting, putting it back on their defense, saying, hey, we're going to need you to get the ball back. So we'll see if the defense can answer.
It's a good snap to Chapman, and he gets a punt off.
A lot of pressure there.
Yep. He finally gets a bounce. It'll be a nice bounce into Spartan territory. Finally pick it up when it stops at the 42. So, again, the first time tonight that the turf has favored Chapman at all.
Yeah, Jim, that's what the Red Tornadoes have been looking for. Kind of flip the field a little bit due to the kickoff being short, even though they kind of went backwards on the drive. they were able to somewhat flip the field and at least make the Spartans start their drive in their own territory.
So we'll see here again. Red Tornado defense, do they have a spark? Do they have something to offer their offense?
They need a turnover here. As they had earlier in the game, they need a turnover. They have to get one.
Same look. It's that same toss to the left for Elsden. And the Red Tornadoes are they're gonna do a nice job of not giving up the big play, but again, he's so big and strong, he's picking up 4, 5, 6 yards anyway.
Yeah, and if he's going to get that every play, the Spartans are going to continue to just move the ball downfield at will.
Now we saw, Dan, we had some of their stats for the Spartans, and Elsden is not a typical ball carrier.
No,
for
he's
them.
not. He doesn't have very many carries throughout the season at all.
So you wonder, do the Red Tornadoes need to be ripping at that ball to check on ball security at this point?
It's not a bad idea, Jim.
Leiby's going to hand it to Elsden. And Elsden, now he's running through arm tackles. He's upended by Widener. Does a nice job. But again, not before he picks up a first down. It's down to the 44-yard line.
Right, and that's one of those situations where whether you can't rip at the ball if you don't have them wrapped
Right.
up. So he's able to shrug off a couple tacklers. At this point, you just got to get a stop. Whether you force the turnover or not, there's enough time left where if you can force them into a punting situation, you're going to have enough time offensively to get the ball back and drive down the field and score. So really, the Red Tornadoes just need to be sure tacklers.
We're stopped here on the field with 6:23 left. Again, just take a brief second as there's a Spartan down. We'll take a brief second to remind you that tonight's game is sponsored by WKMC-TV, specifically MCA Live.
Yes.
The MCA Live program, again, Monday through Friday on Service Electric Channel 13, 7:30 a.m. Student run, student operated. It is an exceptional program and a terrific experience for these kids as they move forward in their lives. It was Elsden that was down for the Spartans, so he's up again and off. And we'll thank Service Electric as well for allowing us the opportunity to get those shows out Monday through Friday. There's great programming, 7:30 to 9:30. And then, of course, Wednesday nights at 8.
Yep. And we'll see. This could turn out to be an instant classic here for the Red Tornadoes if they're able to get the ball back defensively and pull this one off.
1st and 10 from the 44 for the Spartans. Chawanski is behind Green. Hall and Dietz are split out to the left and right respectively. But again, the Spartans haven't shown much interest in anything other than that sweet play and every now and then up the gut. Leiby, it's going to be to Chawanski, and Chawanski falls down. The turf monster is going to jump up and get him there. He had a seam, but he'll fall after he picks up a yard.
Yeah, thankfully for the Red Tornadoes there, because it looked like if Chawanski made one little head fake there, he had some open field in front of him. So thank the turf monster on the tackle there.
Dan, are you out of breath?
I'm a little excited right now, Jim. This is one of those games where we haven't had a close game in a while.
Week 1 of last year was the last time the Red Tornadoes were in a game that wasn't decided by double digits or more. Leiby snap. Now it's the pitch to Chawanski.
Hold on Wills. Again, Wills continues to get held on that defensive end.
Not going to be called. It gets that good rush, that good push gets out to the close to the 35. They'll say the 36. It's going to be about a yard short on 3rd down. The clock now under 5 minutes left in this one.
Yeah, and now the Spartans in no hurry to get back up on the ball.
And I think part of that, Dan, you hear it all the time about that hold on that sweep, and it's not, part of it is probably because it's not necessarily a hold all the time in terms of grabbing jerseys. It's more of a hook, right,
yeah,
to prevent him from getting outside.
Yeah, but a lot of the times it has to get a little dirty to get there.
And that's going to be Chawanski again for a 1st down.
Yeah.
And the Spartans are just kind of moving the ball at will now.
Yeah, they're just wearing the Red Tornadoes down. The Red Tornado defense has been on the field As the North Schuylkill defense was on the field a ton in the first half, the Red Tornado defense has been on the field a ton this second half with these long drives that they've been putting together.
Like you said, it's for the first time tonight, Spartans not calling their plays on the line. They're actually huddling.
Yeah.
It's a wonder they know where to stand. Well, Leiby's going to hand that one to Chawanski, and Chawanski's picking his way now, and he's starting to get stronger as the game goes as well.
Yeah.
He's down. It'll be another first down to the 14-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. 3:51 remaining in this one.
Yeah, and if the Spartans are able to punch another one in here, that with the minimal amount of time left in this game, it's going to be real tough for the Red Tornadoes to make a comeback. So this is where they need to have sort of a goal line stand here and get their offense the ball back. They need to catch a break here. They need a fumble, a muff snap, something along those lines to kind of bounce their way.
Same look for the Spartans, that I formation. It's that pitch to Elsden, the ball back. Oh my goodness. Elsden is going to keep fighting, so Elsden will pick up some yards, but Dan got his wish. He got a fumble. He wasn't clear enough, though. The ball bounced right back up into Elsden's breadbasket, and he kept going like he never dropped it.
Yeah, and he almost got a first down out of it, too. Like, these guys are just kind of everything is bouncing the Spartans' way at this point.
Yeah, Dan, you know the story about genies, and you have to be specific with your wishes?
Yeah.
You got to be specific with your wishes here, too.
Well, I said they got to have something bounce their way. It bounced the Spartans' way.
2nd and 1 from the 6. 21-17 Spartans, 2:34 left. It's Chawanski again, and he's going to walk in almost untouched. He'll get dragged down at the goal line, but he's in. And so, just like that, this is going to be a 27-17 lead for the Spartans. Again, the Red Tornadoes were on top 17-7 at half, and the Spartans have now scored 20 unanswered in the second half as they've dominated in all facets of the football game.
Yeah. Since they've come out of the locker room, they've been in a groove offensively, and their defense has been clicking on all cylinders, just really not allowing the Red Tornado offense to do anything.
Going to go for 2 again here. And this time it's going to be Leiby, and he comes in and he puts his head down, and he will get in. So that's going to be a 29-17 lead with 2:28 to go. And again, Dan, that's a math one, right? You go for 2 there. That forces 2 possessions, or it forces 2 touchdowns. Right.
Yeah.
Forces the 2 touchdowns. You can't get tricky or fancy with the touchdown, extra point, and a stellar field goal or anything like that, because again, if you're the Spartans, you might have some bad memories of the Red Tornadoes being within a field goal.
Yeah.
Late in the game.
Definitely probably have some bad memories of that. But right now, the Red Tornadoes, as we see a lot of people starting to file out of here, the Red Tornadoes also have a quick strike offense. I think some of these people are leaving a little prematurely, because all they need is one big play and an onside kick, and then right back into this game.
Yeah, and they're going to get a short field here with the way Green kicks off. They'll probably start around the 35-yard line.
Unless they're going to let Green kick it deep here. I don't know if he's capable of, or if... Nope.
Well, that's going to be even shorter. Somebody's got to get that. Troutman picks it up right at the 35.
And does the right thing again, calling a fair catch.
Well, they'll say it's the 36, so there you go, +1.
That'll work. So we'll see. The Red Tornado offense here going to have to open things up and going to have to kind of throw the ball downfield and do it in a hurry. They do have all 3 timeouts left. So if they could get like I said, Jim, they could get a quick score here, they're right back in this game.
Yeah, it's not over by any means. Again, and we've seen now, while only 1 went the Red Tornadoes' way, the Spartans have fumbled the ball twice this half.
Right.
So Reisinger is going to throw that inside screen to Burkowski, and the alley was there. It's just a nice play made by Elsden.
Yeah, Elsden's been kind of doing it all, offensively and defensively. He makes that nice little tackle there, which was, like you said, it looked like that alley was forming nicely for Burkowski, but Elsden coming from that backside able to make that tackle.
Well-designed play, well executed. You just couldn't account for Elsdon, so it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 38. 1:57 left. The Red Tornadoes need to show a little urgency. Reisinger back to throw. He rolls to his right. Now he's going to throw it for Burkowski, and it's going to be almost intercepted by 2 different Spartans. It was Burkowski in about 4 red jerseys. Pupo showed up at the end.
Yeah.
But that's going to fall incomplete. In that case, it's lucky for the Red Tornadoes. Dan, it reminds you of that old adage that when you throw the football, only 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad.
That is true, Jim. It's been real tough. It's been real tough for the Red Tornadoes putting the ball in the air now in the second half when the Spartans know that they have to put the ball in the air. They've kind of been they've been manning all their defenders up with safety help. So every time Reisinger throws the ball downfield, there's a lot of red jerseys in the area.
Reisinger again in the gun. We're going to get a timeout here on the Red Tornadoes. There was a little bit of confusion on the setup.
Yeah.
That's all you got for me, Dan? Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of confusion there. Not sure. I think the confusion stems from the fact that the last two and a half games, the Red Tornadoes have been going really super tight with everything. So now going back to the spread, they're, kind of getting the feel of things back in the spread.
Yeah, one thing to remember, for those of you kind enough to stick it out with us, again, as Dan pointed out, you should be sticking it out with us. There's over 100 seconds left to play here. This is a quick strike offense. Don't forget about all the cool stuff going on at Mount Carmel area. Certainly this broadcast, there's a donate button at redtornadofootball.com. These are all the types of things we need to do to keep bringing you these broadcasts week in and week out. There's the Brick Project. There's the Turf Project. Again, get to, well, we'll see what Reisinger is going to get to. He throws a rocket to Burkowski, and he catches it and is driven out of bounds at the 44, so about 2 yards short. It's going to bring up 4th and 2.
And again, it looks like a bad spot. I mean, they continue, Burkowski catches the ball at what looks like the 46, and they push him back to the 44, and they spot him at the 44. But either way, it's going to bring up 4th.
But yeah, we'll just finish that again. Call 570-339-1500. Let them know the WKMC TV broadcast sent you and you want to help. There's no shortage of ways that you can give back to a district that's given so much to so many of us. And we'll see what this Red Tornado offense can give. Now, that's the snap to the up back.
And with forward progress, that's a horrible spot again. I don't think they're going to give it to him. That's a terrible spot from the side judge there. Really
well,
bad
let's get
spot.
a measurement here. I want a measurement.
Yeah, they're going to have a measurement, but that's such a bad spot from that side judge. Did not give Daukus the forward progress really that he got.
This is an interesting thing, and it's being talked about at a lot of different levels of football now. Just the idea that this is it's a violent game.
Yeah.
And you're out there. I think of the Al Pacino speech, the game of inches, right? You're literally fighting for the inches. You're putting your body on the line for the inches, and the Red Tornadoes are going to be about an inch short as the Spartans take over. But you're fighting for those inches, and they're kind of arbitrarily decided upon by some older gentlemen in hats and with links of chains, and sometimes they tell you that sometimes they use their fingers to tell you how far away it is. It's just kind of interesting that we haven't gotten to a point where there's a microchip in the football or something.
There's a better way to gauge it. Yeah. And I guess the human factor of it makes it a little bit more interesting. And it's the same way in all sports at this point, Jim. They're reviewing plays in the NFL. They're reviewing
interference.
Yeah, they're reviewing penalties. They're reviewing umpire calls in baseball. Everywhere they're doing it.
Spartans will hand that one to Chawanski again. And the Red Tornadoes will take a timeout to stop the clock after a gain of about 4. So yeah, it's interesting the way things are going. Again, it's been interesting the way things have gone here. Like we talked about before, the Red Tornadoes jumped out to an early lead and held it through the half. They were up 17-7. That was a 30-yard field goal by Stellar. And 2 touchdown runs by Burkowski, a 6-yarder and a 2-yarder.
Yep.
While on the Spartan side, their lone score in the first half was a 33-yard run by Leiby. In the second half, it's been all Spartans. They had the 55-yard run by Chawanski, the 1-yard run by Green, and then the other 6-yard run by Chawanski here that really kind of put it out of reach.
Yeah, and Jim, we're seeing something that you haven't seen from North Schuylkill throughout the year. I think at the end of all this, I think this might end up being Chawanski's first 100-yard game as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the numbers are. There's going to be a lot of them, that's for certain. And that 30 yards that he just picked up there or so isn't going to hurt.
Right.
No, Dan, you're right. We were looking at the numbers. Coming into tonight, Leiby had 605 rushing yards. Chawanski had 288. Again, he had 6 for 88 last week. And
I think his biggest game, he had 90 yards, I think.
And the Spartans were in a position that a lot of the good teams around here are, where these kids, they get out and they jump out to a lead and then they don't play much.
Right, exactly.
Late in the game. Speaking of, you got any scores for us, Dan? We can update the good people who decided to stick with us. They know the score of this one. 29-17 Spartans with 50 seconds left. And it's a pitch to Chawanski. And he's still feeling it. My goodness, that kid runs tough.
He took a big hit there, though. It looked like from, is that Wills? Looks like.
I can't tell.
Yeah, Wills came
Chapman.
in there
I can never tell.
with a big hit. So we have Danville up big on Milton, 49-12.
That KJ Riley, he's a heck of a quarterback.
Yes, he is. He is. Let's see here. We've got Bloomsburg up 17-12 on South Williamsport in the fourth quarter. Berwick finally beginning to pull away from Selinsgrove, 23-7. So that, if Berwick finishes that game off, that'll put them to 5-0, I believe. We've got Lewisburg's up 28-20 on Shamokin in the fourth quarter.
28-20 Lewisburg, but this one's over here as the clock hits triple zeros. The Red Tornadoes will fall on the road to the North Schuylkill Spartans for the 6th year in a row here, where this will be 29-17.
Yeah, Jim, we talked about it. This game not going to be decided by single digits, but definitely I can say for sure that this has been the closest game that we've called since week 1 of last year, one way or the other. And the Red Tornadoes, kind of got. I think they got a tough break there in the second half. The Spartans came out, put together a long drive that ended in points, and kind of took over the momentum from there. Seized the momentum. Then they get stopped. Red Tornadoes get the ball back. There's the safety. And they just continue with the momentum from there, continue moving forward. And the Spartans just kind of took the momentum and never gave it back.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's a chess match, right? And the Red Tornadoes came out, and obviously Coach Dara and the staff had them well prepared. They knew exactly what they wanted to go with, and they executed the game plan perfectly.
Right.
And it's punch, counter punch. And unfortunately, when the Spartans came out of the locker room, they were able to counter punch.
Right. And the Red Tornadoes weren't really able to recover from that at that point.
Yeah, and I think given the way that went and how it went down, the player of the game that we often talk about, at least from the Spartan side, that's going to be Elsden.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing it on both sides of the ball. He was huge running the ball, kind of that, like you said earlier, that body blow guy, offensively and defensively, was kind of just showing up places where the Red Tornadoes didn't want him to show up to.
But again, it's not all tears on the Red Tornado side. They did a lot tonight. We saw the emergence of another receiving threat in Wills, and I think he's probably going to be our player of the game from the Red Tornado side for offensive and defense.
Yeah,
tonight.
he has to be. Him and Witkowski were all over the field defensively. Wills and Daukus did a great job setting the edge. Witkowski was in there on a lot of tackles, but offensively, like you said, Burkowski with the two kind of finishing touches on the touchdown drives, but Wills had those big, like, he was taking hits, he was getting rocked and hanging on to the ball when Mount Carmel needed it.
Yeah, and I think, again, we saw the game, but I think thanks to Jose, We got some numbers.
No, not yet. We're still waiting on him from Jose here. He's in the process of sending them up, I
We
believe.
can see him, so we can riff here for another minute or two.
Yeah.
So we're.
And here they are right now.
He never disappoints, does he?
No, he does not.
He is a living legend, that man.
So we will see what we got here for Mount Carmel area. Looks like we're going to finish with 32 rushes for 261 yards. Or no, I'm sorry. That was my mistake. 33 rushes for 61 yards. So
that's
rushing wise, not a great day for the Red Tornadoes.
No.
To North Schuylkill's 56 carries for 414 yards on the ground. So
I would be curious, and maybe we can grab Jose next week. I can't imagine a team like Mount Carmel has often given up 400 yards on the ground.
No, I can't imagine that either. And that's really, just a testament to the scheming of Coach Hall and that North Schuylkill offensive
It also
coaching.
helps when you got two guys that go 6 foot plus, 250 plus, and you can just run them one behind the other
5-6 yards every carry.
Just falling down.
Right. Passing wise, Red Tornadoes 11 of 18 for 129 yards. So only 190 total yards in the game.
Yeah,
for Red
well,
Tornadoes.
and if you remember, Reisinger was 8 of 11 for 116 in the first half. So only 13 passing yards in the second half.
Yeah, a lot of tough breaks there in the second half for the Red Tornadoes. So MCA 14 yards and no first downs in the second half. That's Jose made sure to. North Schuylkill had 328 yards all on the ground in the second half. So that just shows that how things went from one extreme to the other for the Red Tornadoes in the second half.
Yeah, so I mean, the bad news again for the Red Tornadoes, you're going to fall to 3-2. The good news is it's only week 5, so you get to keep playing.
Right.
The Red Tornadoes will have Mifflinburg at home next week, while the Spartans will also have another home contest, and they'll have Jim Thorpe.
Yes. So Mount Carmel going home from North Schuylkill here will be big to kind of hopefully bounce back at home next week.
Yeah, and I think it's about time that we go home as well, and we let all the good people of WKMC TV get out of here. Again, the Red Tornadoes fall on the road to the Spartans 29-17. But like we said, we will be back next week at home against Mifflinburg. So we hope to see you there. I'm Jim Lesko.
And I'm Dan Lesko.
And for Jose Gonzalo, good night.